Well, good morning. Derby Jack here with a cup of coffee. I was just watching a video from our dear brother, Richie from Boston, from his Richie from Boston TV. Now, lately, I'll go there because he'll put up some good videos and things he can't do here anymore, things they won't. I'd be sore like him too if they did to me what they've done to him. I mean, and they do a lot of bad stuff to me, but I'm only a little guy. He was a lot bigger than I was, and is a lot bigger than I am. But he's been getting radiated. They've been targeting him, and I believe them. There ain't no conspiracy theorist here. I believe them. I know what's going on with these computers and the 5G, and now they're getting ready for the 6G. They want to turn us all into batteries. So frequencies and things like that. Now, I happen to have one of these. Went and bought me one, right? About almost a year ago. You put it on mag. I mean, I'm here. We're looking at 1.3. It'll peak. Now, when we go to electric, it is amazing, the output. You're looking at 170, 180, 239, 200. I mean, these are fields that are radiation. Now, he uses terms like, that he'll sit there and he feels it. He's got the stuff, the EMP gear and shirts and stuff, but they still penetrate. It's getting harder, apparently, for these people to really find anything for EMP, to keep you safe, because the fields are all around us. Now, this is another way that they depopulate. You get people sick off radiation, and it's almost like everybody getting going and getting an X-ray every day. I mean, that's what it's the equivalent to. Everybody goes every day and gets an X-ray just by walking outside, It's another branch of the depopulation program. As we know that the biggest branch of it was the Roll Up Your Sleeves campaign. And now the other area, of course, is not being able to really prove putting your finger on it. They can't put your finger on isolating, something, right? But they can. But it's okay. We're going to let that pass since we still can't isolate. But when it comes to this, well, you can't prove anything, so we're going to keep doing what we're doing. They would say, well, this doesn't mean anything. People shouldn't have this in their hands because it's dangerous. They might, get a wrong idea about what we're doing. So, if anything, for all you people who do, watch Richie or still pray for him or whatever, keep praying for him. The man's out there still doing a service. They're doing everything they can to keep him from doing it. And I like the man. I've heard so many stories. Oh, he's a plant. He's this. He's that. You know what? I don't believe it. Not whatsoever in my heart. I do not believe that. And you can't say anything to make it. And for all you people who don't like Richie, screw you. The man's doing a service. He's doing a service for God, and he's doing a service for you. He's a doulos, just like I am. A servant of God. A servant of man. So anyway, if I were to say anything, I know that a lot of my eye problems have to do with this shit too. It's funny. You can, for a person who would not want to believe in God and understand that there's good and evil, okay, that everything that comes from this world, every idea that could consider to be a good idea will always have that other, there will always be two people. Well, that's a good idea. We could use that to help people. Another person's on the other side there. Yeah. We could use that to take out people too. We could use that to demoralize people. We could use that for whatever. So they got all this, and there's social engineering. Okay, why I call y'all a bunch of human monkeys, I ought to go back to calling y'all a bunch of sheep because you're following. You're followers. There's no leaders. There's no leadership, in the world, except for phony leadership, except for arrogant leadership. But any true moral leadership out there, if you're looking for moral leadership in government, whether it's Republican or Democrat, you're a fool. You can't look there. There's no morality. Once they get into Washington, they're either brainwashed, they're either strong-armed, and if that's not enough, they're replaced by clones. And you don't want to believe that neither. It's up to you. So, anything that you've seen in Hollywood movies, they could do it. Now, I don't know about going past the dome, but, they're trying. Oh, yeah, I'm one of them. Yeah, I know a lot. It took me a long time, but I'll tell you what. I didn't just turn the page. I didn't just turn coat, It's been something on my mind because the one thing about these scientists, the one thing about these people up there, these NASA idiots, right, is that they keep trying to explain away those questions that have always bothered mankind. A lot of mankind, but most mankind who still want to be astronauts, they have to hold on to it. Even though the inconsistencies of space just don't line up. Too many inconsistencies. I remember what I've been taught. I remember what I've been manipulated to believe. I remember all these things, but nobody could ever change my mind. Night after night, if the stars are, if the skies are clear, there ain't no chemtrails, you still see Orion, the Milky Way, the big one, the small one. You see all kinds of celestial things that are always in the same place. Now, I'm sorry, I know space is so big you couldn't imagine. No, don't give me that bullshit. Truth of the matter is that if we were traveling through space, sooner or later there's going to be changes. Sooner or later you're going to be going past. What happened to the Milky Way? The big one's gone. Where'd it go? Well, it's way down there because we're moving through space. Wouldn't you think that that's what you're hearing? Like I said once before, if we're traveling through space, ain't we going to hit something sooner or later? We're going to hit a wall, another planet, another, all these things, okay? No consistency. I've said it before. They told us in school that if the sun were to explode, we wouldn't see it right away. It might be a couple hours or so before we see or feel anything, right? Because it's so far away. Not according to the pictures. It seems like here's the sun, and then here's right there next to it. They're talking how big of a gap it is, and so you can imagine how big of a gap there is between. So when you're traveling, you can't notice anything. Don't miss it. Traveling through a pocket, or traveling through. They say they go around the sun with this Kamini or whatever the hell thing they got up there, right? Well, if we were going around the sun, according to their little cartoons, we're traveling, and there's a tail on the sun. Maybe that's just maybe that's just me seeing it, but they always have a tail on it. So if they were going around the sun, wouldn't they see a tail, a fire, because we're traveling? Wouldn't that be normal? The inconsistencies down there. So you scientific people, you're stupid, you don't understand. Well, there's nothing you've been able to say in all my 62 years. There's nothing y'all have been able to say that make me believe. Because I've always had a problem with space. I wouldn't have had a problem if we were just standing in our own little place and our sun. I could believe in space because it would make sense then. But when you got us traveling, nothing makes sense. It just doesn't, I'm sorry. It just has no sense whatsoever. And even old Roger Spurr, Mud Fossil University, he goes off his cornerstone of science. He believes in space. He believes in all that. And I follow the man. I believe in the mud fossils. I believe that, you know, our surroundings are a bunch of giant, dead, cut up beings that are now geology. I believe it. But he still believes we're traveling through space too, and that we're heating up because we're rubbing against the. It all sounds great, Roger. It really does. The problem is, when it comes to space, the cornerstone of your science right there, and as intelligent of a man that this man is, don't get me wrong, I could never beat the man's intelligence, but somewhere along the line, in everything he's doing, I really wish the man would get the Holy Spirit, because the Holy Spirit would teach him that he's got it to a point. Just like the flat earth Tartarians, they got it to a point, but they think everything's melted. They don't understand biology either. But it's a matter of recognizing what's going on around you. And really, really, if something doesn't make sense, you're going to have to question. And like I said, when it comes to him, he's talking us, we're going. So his cornerstone is a faulty cornerstone, because he's going off the scientific model, which is false, which has no. So if it's true, then he's right. But things just don't add up. I'm not the only one that believes that things do not add up. Like I said, if it would take so long for us to see an exploding sun or feel anything, then why is it that when the sun comes up, you can see those sunny days, you're out there with your cup of coffee, right? Out there, and you're watching the sun come up, and all of a sudden you're feeling that heat. As soon as the sun starts coming up, it's 12 o'clock, you feel that heat right away. So if it takes so long for us to see that light, like if we're looking at the sun right now, we're seeing yesterday's light. So it's like we're getting it late. If that's true, then how come the heat comes right away? And when the sun's going down, how come the heat goes down right away? See, you scientific idiots, you can't explain that, because nobody's ever asked those questions. What's on my hat? Nobody's ever asked those questions. Nobody comes up with those kind of questions, because they try to direct you never to think that way. They don't worry about filling in those gaps, because that's just, well, there's certain things we haven't gotten to yet. Well, of course, you keep losing your science. You keep losing you can't go back to the moon because you lost all the technology. So I'm saying the things that the men at the Apollo mission, they're sitting up there, and they're all sitting there. I mean, they went into space. You went on the moon, and you're sitting there. Well, you got your head down like you're ashamed. They're sitting there. You seen those videos? They're sitting there and talking. Well, we did this. Armstrong, he didn't even want to talk. He's sitting there like, you know, like his fly is open. So that's what I'm saying. So be very careful. One word of advice. You people with your cell phones, turn the damn things off when you're not using them. Don't keep them on. You know, I'm telling you, I got a call that might come in. Well, you know, we should have kept beepers. If we would have kept beepers, then we could have keep our phones off, have a beeper set up with a phone, so that wouldn't give off any real radiation, and you just have that. No, they'd find a way of doing that. They'd have something this big and like, so, you know, yeah, I mean, but you got to turn them damn things off. Women, do not put your phone near your breast if you're gonna feed a child, because you're radiating your breast with that damn phone. Turn the damn things off. Men, do not put it in your pants turned on. You're gonna go sterile. Do you not understand the programs they have set up here with all this shit? Depopulation. They don't even want you to have a child anymore. So they can't abort. Well, they're going to stop it right before. They're going to stop it right there at the stem. Right before we'll stop it. since we can't abort the damn bastards and bitches, then we will sit there and we will just take them out sperm by sperm. We'll destroy the ovaries right before the sperm can even hit it. Sex sounds good now, don't it? Bunch of monkeys. I am so tired of this world. I am so tired of you monkeys falling prey to all this stuff. And I'm tired of ignorance. I'm tired of stupidity. And I'm talking about you scientists. I'm talking about you biochemist bastards and bitches. I'm talking about all you people, because you're worthless. Everything that you think comes from the dark side of the world, the dark side of science, the Frankenstein thinking science. You know, let's make a big giant bomb and see what happens. Science. Well, let's inject this into people and see what happens. We've never done that before. Well, that's why we need to do it. Screw the ethics. Screw the moralities. We have a whole population of human beings we can experiment on. So, do you not understand the importance of you? You're a pincushion. That's right. Haven't used that term in a while. Pincushion. Over and over and over again. Pushing pins in and in and in, you know. So you become a pincushion, you know. You're known to be sleeveless. That's what we ought to do. Inoculation clothes. There you go. For the sleeveless one. Why roll up your sleeve? Just... You know, they've also are starting to come out to say that them damn things they are dangerous. Yeah, they do cause problems. There have been more flatlines because of, yeah, they're telling you. But they don't want me telling you. Because they got to come up with another part of the story. Well, it's just a fluke. It was just a batch. You can trust us. The science is founded. The science is trustworthy. You know, especially from old Altie. I'm science. I'm God of science. If you doubt me, you doubt science. Well, I got to get ready to go. I got to put this on. So, look, people. Turn them damn things off, you know. Take that damn thing off your face. Keep your sleeves rolled down. Protect your life. And like I said, turn your electronics off when you're not using them. In your house. You know, if you've got goldfish, you're radiating your damn goldfish while you're out working because you keep your computer on. Stop it. Stop it. Especially if how about your kitty cat likes to sit up there where it's nice and warm. You're radiating the shit out of your kitty cat. So, anyway, if you can, I would invest in one of these. It could save your life. Tell you where to get away from. Because I'm telling you, man, they're building these damn towers all over the place. They're radiating the shit out of us. It's amazing that we aren't evolving. Because tails would be growing from people, you know. Horns would be growing from the head, you know. I mean, this is the type of stuff. Don't they show things coming from from Chernobyl and all these other places, animals that have turned and changed because of radiation? I already told you about the black-eyed babies being born. Radiation. Chemical invasions. All kinds of things. Aerosol invasion, you know, the raid cans of wings, you know, spraying all kinds of stuff on us. Oh no, don't worry about that. We're going to start doing it. We've been doing it since 2012 and even before that. We did it in Vietnam, cloud seeding, but you didn't win the war, so what the fuck? Anyway, Derby Jack out. See y'all on the other side.